Welcome back, folks. How are you guys doing out there today? We hope you're doing well.
Yep, exciting times. We have the Northern Wisconsin opener coming up, so we thought it would be a perfect time to run through some baits, run through some techniques that we have been using this spring, and I don't know, just dive in a little bit deeper because you can only show so much in a video. So.
Fortunately, we have had the opportunity to already be musky fishing for some of you that haven't.
Yep.
So we're going to just kind of let you know what's worked for us so far. What did we catch the first musky of the year on?
First musky of the year on. Yes, it's this guy.
Yes.
My magic little husky jerk. Unfortunately, they don't make this color anymore, but they do have other colors that are like
similar.
That. You can find these at the Musky Shop. Yeah, if you guys have this color, though, I would love to buy them. So, if that's a possibility, but yeah, please message us, and yeah, I would love to get a couple more of these.
Yeah,
this
right.
Is all I got.
Like that's gonna happen. Come on.
I don't think they're gonna be giving them up, especially after the spring. But yeah, throwing this on actually.
Yeah, and that's a size 14. I don't know if Robbie said that.
No, I didn't.
Size 14 husky jerk.
Just been using this on a Shimano Corrado rod, 7-1 medium heavy with that 2500 Stratic. This reel is just the drag. The drag on it is just the one time when Heidi and I were trolling, just how smoothly that line came out after that fish just crushed that husky jerk. It was just incredible. Got a 20-pound titanium wire there, little swivel, little snap. It's been an awesome combo this spring.
What's so sweet about that reel, the CI4 Stratic, is the composite frame, which makes it like, I think it's 30% lighter than the regular Stratic. So it's like you're not. It's like you're bluegill fishing.
Yep. It's got 20. I've just been using 20-pound Power Pro.
Super slick V2.
Slick. Yeah.
That's the line. And the flame green, you see us use that a lot. The flame green, we can see the line.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice. It's been working good, that's for sure.
Let's see what else. You actually did get that one muskie when we were not trying to catch muskies on a shadow wrap. It was actually the longer version. This is the shadow shad. But small minnow baits. When you're struggling, man, that's definitely a go-to technique
for sure.
So my first muskie of the season came on the Chaos Tackle Shum Mini Tap Dancer, if I can get that out of my finger. That kind of light-colored sunfish pattern. It's bright and white. Anything white.
Yeah,
we like
nice.
white baits. And just running this thing, it's a side-to-side glide bait. It'll work fast. It'll work slow. It's really one of the easiest glide baits to work out there.
And it's heavy.
Yeah.
That's what's nice about it. You can cast that thing a mile.
You're covering water.
Yeah, it works very well, that's for sure.
Probably the biggest tip I could give you on this style of bait, glide baits in general, is breaking up your retrieve. Don't make it mechanical where it's just side to side the whole way in. Throw some pauses in there, some longer twitches, where you kind of really extend the swinging action. Careful, and just break it up and let once you get a bite, figure out what you were doing when that fish bit, and obviously just replicate that. You'll see here I've got a single strand 174-pound wire tied to that with no swivel. This bait's probably just heavy enough you would not need to go to this. You could use a regular swiveled leader, but I also use this rod for my early season walk the dog stuff like that, fish stick like that, Topwater. But that is, the 710. And by the way, let's say here, if you guys have not picked up one of the Chaos Tackle Assault Stick 2020 rods,
it's dangerous.
They are so light.
It's hard to go back.
25 to 30% lighter. They still make the other model, the original, with the green wraps. The red wrap is the 2020, which are a little more spendy.
They're cool.
30% lighter. It's ridiculous. So,
but this telescoping as well.
Oh yeah, every
awesome.
model they make is the telescoping. Thanks for reminding me.
Yep.
But just super light, and like I said, it's the 710 model, and it's kind of just probably a heavy action. Yeah, it's a tactical, right?
Yes. Yep.
Couldn't remember that. At any rate, pretty sweet stuff. But yeah, glide baits in general, whether it's the mini tap dancer. I know last year we got fish on the regular tap dancer early season.
That's your little fun thing.
6-inch pelagic glide. I almost got a really good fish
no
on
kidding.
that this spring. But whatever, small gliders in general, good early season stuff. Oh, I guess I did catch a fish on this as well.
Yep.
This is the Custom X CXT. This is a balsa wood 5 3/4 inch crankbait.
It's probably one of my favorite baits that Chaos Tackle makes. Just the way
Light.
You can run balsa baits weedless through weeds. It's just such a good bait when things aren't happening.
And you caught your first muskie of the year last year on that same bait.
Yeah, just being able to, crank these down, touch weeds, let that thing float back up, and then just keep hitting cover. Because a lot of times, I mean, if you're touching cover, you can feel so confident.
Oh yeah,
catching a muskie
like banging rock, same
Yep.
thing. Bouncing the bait off the cover.
I think it just makes them mad, really.
yeah, for sure. And actually, just keeping on the trend minnow baits, this is the Custom X Mini, which actually this is a heavier bait than this bait. This is a cedarwood bait. This is what we caught when trolling the other day on. The difference between the two is the cedar versus the balsa wood.
Yep.
This thing has
skinnier too.
Oh yeah, forgot to show you that. This has got a much slower rise. It's got better hang time. This is pops back up.
Yep.
But let's see. Yeah,
That's
so
it
that
in
was
that
kinda
department.
cool. We caught a fish trolling. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, on a musky bait, not just a husky here. So that was cool. Also, we got action on the little 8-inch Navin. This is a cool little dive and rise. Scott, in our last one of our last shoots, he got blasted at both sides of one of these things.
Yeah, Scott for bite back. He was like bite, miss. It was like, come on, dude, just catch one already.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that's a cool little dive and rise that you can use. Also,
I make a dive and rise. I got the 8-inch Leviathan, which is a little bigger bodied bait than the 8-inch Navin. Quite a bit bigger, actually. It's not like fish take their food, they put it on a bump board, and they measure. Oh, that's way too big. I can't eat that thing.
No, not quite.
But whatever you're comfortable with.
I guess moving on with Scott.
Yeah,
we can go into single 8 bucktails because he lost a really nice fish at boat side on a single 8.
That's true.
Man, early I always have a hard time throwing bucktails, but he's a bucktail boy, and
yes.
It works. It just works.
We were all stuck in the rubber and twitch bait mode, and boom, he puts on a single bite back bait.
Yep.
8.
But I guess I shouldn't really say that because Northern Wisconsin opener's coming, and that's all we throw, single 8 bucktails, basically. So around here in Southern Wisconsin, I have a hard time, but
I don't know why.
Up north, I don't know. I don't know why they like them so much.
Yeah, I know you've had considerable good luck on the Fox River. You kind of had a moment there twice.
Time I have to show that if we got some new people aboard. But single 8, he sucks salt. Scott from Bite Back Baits, he makes an awesome single 8. And also, talking about single 8s.
Oh yeah.
Mini boilers. If you want to go a little bit slower and
shallower.
Yeah, shallower as well.
Or you can fish this thing super fast and just
keep your rod tip down.
Yeah.
That one dude last year messaging us.
Yeah.
Early. I mean, this time of year, he was burning these things on top and he was getting fish to bite. So it's just
just barely below the surface.
Yep.
Cranking it in clear water, by the way.
Yep.
So
that was interesting to learn that little tidbit. That's for sure.
Oh, I totally forgot. You reminded me. I know this is like totally off the subject.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all the new subscribers out there, by the way. My little rant the other day. Thank you. And for all of you that have been subscribed forever.
Yeah,
so thank you.
That was very nice. Good to hear that.
Okay, we'll get back to this now.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Can't forget about the micro Medusa. You got the fish in the last video on.
First fish at boat side the year, so that was pretty cool.
That was pretty dang awesome. Gosh. It's amazing how that small little bait works so well, just running wise.
For sure. I know Brian from Angling Anarchy. He got a 47 3/4.
Yeah.
A couple springs ago.
On this guy.
It's not to say they won't hit the regular size stuff too, and don't be afraid to use that. Just keep. Spring is a great time to be switching baits till someone gets a reaction.
Because a lot of times you're moving a lot of fish during that day. So a lot of days. But moving aboard.
Moving along.
Moving along here. Can't forget about last sight fishing video. We can run through the setup. That was painful. Sorry, guys. I wish I had a trailer hook on that. I wish I found my little clip for my remote. I found it literally once we got the boat off of the water. I was like, oh, there's that. I knew it was laying in the boat somewhere. That would probably have caught more fish if I just...
The biggest thing was the stinger, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. It's just that kind of fishing never really happened to me before. I was jacked, and it was just some of the coolest
How do you
stuff.
stop fishing to tie on a stinger when they're biting like that?
Yeah, that was just some of the stupidest stuff ever. But that's 6-inch Gets It tube. I got a 1-ounce Kalen's head on there. And
the hook's really not small. No. It's an 8-aught hook.
I know.
Show that thing. Everybody thinks you had too small a hook.
It's one of the biggest jigs you can buy, really.
Right, for sure.
Let me take that out.
There.
I mean, that's a big hook.
That's a big hook.
It's a big hook.
An 8-aught hook.
I know. Well, hopefully we get some calm weather and we can try that again, because that was... You need to see that in person, dude.
Yeah, that was cool. Thing is about spring muskie too. You could see in that footage the fish biting the back of that tube first, and then biting the rest of it. Some of them were just biting the back.
Yeah, yep.
You'd pull, and then
They weren't exactly going. They were really needed. I mean, some things that I was able to show in that video, but there was one fish where we had an eye on it, and it honestly worked it for 10-12 minutes. And, the thing was just sitting there. And finally, the thing goes over to the bait. I had my bait far away. One of the big things you want to really pay attention to is not necessarily bringing the bait to them. You want it kind of far away so they will actually get off their butts and swim to it.
Sure.
When you can see that happen, you know they're going to go.
They're serious.
Yep. So that actually happened. Literally on this fish forever. And the thing goes over the bait, grabs the strings of the tube, and drops it. And swims off. Some of it just, insane in that clear water. But the setup, 200 tranks. This is the high-speed one. Man, I'm loving this reel. The nice thing about it is it's got the big handle. You actually have a little musky reel in hand.
Feels like your musky.
Yep. And that's just on a 7.6 flip and stick heavy rod. Little 80-pound fluorocarbon. But I'm actually all jacked up thinking about that.
I can tell. I like it.
That was so cool.
I want to go do that too.
It might happen here.
We'd probably be out there doing that today, but it is super windy and cloudy and nasty.
Yeah, you need perfect weather to really get on those fish, but
for sure.
Onward. What's going on, Lee?
Porkchop, what's up, buddy? Hey. What's up? How you doing? See ya.
Brief intermission.
Oh yeah. This is fun on Lee's porch with the critters. Oh no, we got another one here.
Oh, a little chipmunk.
What's up there, buddy? Watch, he'll come inside too.
Oh,
here.
He's hot. He's rolling.
Trying to get him up in the air. There you go. Take it. Okay, back to
business.
And moving along.
Another springtime bait would be a good little Boilermaker spinnerbait. I'm excited to throw this thing up north. That's for sure.
This coming weekend?
Yeah,
that could definitely happen.
Yep. Just being able to touch, covered, being weedless, and go super slow, especially nighttime fishing. If we get into that too, I'm pumped for that. We did have a follow on one of the last videos on it, so that was always good.
Can I have one?
You might.
I don't even have one yet. This is how I rate here, folks. I'm not on the pro team, I guess.
Pro team, yeah. It's just, we got patches coming in soon.
All right.
Some jerseys and whatnot. We'll wrap your boat as well.
Man. Sounds good, man. Looking forward to that. Yeah, really, you think about one of the better all-time spring baits for fish in general, whatever species, other than walleyes. A spinnerbait. Spinnerbait is, definitely a go-to bait. I don't know. There's some days that they just want the tandem style versus an inline. Inline bait.
Pretty cool. We got one of Lee's spinnerbaits. This is the 1 ounce, right?
The 1 ounce. I make it in a 1.5. It's got a number 5 Colorado with a number 3 kicker. The 1 ounce. I could talk. Mm-hmm. The 1.5 ounce has got a number 7 Willow. Number 4 kicker. I usually do better on the bigger ones later in the season once it gets a little warmer. or what
that's
have you.
pretty cool.
And also the Trilogy spinnerbait. That's a newer item. We did throw it last spring a little bit.
Yep.
Had some success on it. But
if you guys pike fish at all, they love this thing.
Oh yeah, we definitely
seen that for sure. But that's cool too.
What's neat about that spinnerbait is you can actually, on the fall, that blade will helicopter down.
You can imagine that. Yeah, I mean that's
always spins.
Right, that's pretty killer.
Spinnerbait wise, of course the inline with the mini trilogies too. That would be another option earlier season. The fish are chasing baits, not stop and go baits. That would be a terrific option.
Right.
Well,
and if you're fishing a little bit deeper too, I mean that's the nice thing about those. Those run a tad bit deeper than a regular bucktail, so you can hit that zone a little bit better. Can't forget though.
Oh yeah.
Another good springtime bait.
Yeah, you missed one on that the other day.
That wasn't fun, but little micro dragon. Sometimes chatterbaits. I mean, obviously cold water. Bass guys pound bass on them all the time. So why wouldn't it be the same for muskies?
Jackhammers.
Yep.
That's like the bass one, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. But little micro dragon.
This is you've definitely probably not seen this one yet. This is the Micro Dragon Shredder coming out next year. So we got a little sneak peek.
Yeah, you guys get to see it. We get to really test it out this year.
It's pretty cool. So to keep the bait from fouling up on the cast, they've actually got it heat shrunk the rear shaft section there. So it is obviously flexible, but it'll definitely aid in casting ability of that bait. And I'm definitely
There's a lot of work into that little thing. That's for sure.
Big time. A lot of labor. I'm a little curious to see what happens with this thing.
For sure. Absolutely.
It's just got a small, probably number 5 fluid.
Yeah, fluted blade. Yeah.
5 or 4. I'm not sure, but it's a smaller fluted blade on that as well.
Just last thing we can touch on is spring topwater.
Yeah.
We got over there.
The way this year is set up has been obviously way colder than normal. I haven't even basically thrown a topwater other than about 10 minutes. I threw one at the end of one of our outings. But if you were going to throw surface early season, these two styles would be my go-to. Slow walk the dog style, and then the flat tail, of course. I've caught topwater fish all the way down in the fall, mind you, down to 37.5 degree water. So there's no limit to how cold you can throw them. But generally speaking, topwater is more effective early season when you have a warming trend. And we haven't had a lot of warming trends. Yeah. South wind, haven't seen that.
No, it's been weird, but
big east winds, not so great.
Be interesting, that's for sure.
Hopefully we can get some topwater action soon. Some years, the first fish of the year I ever caught was on a topwater, and it was usually this. Yeah. I guess we could touch on kind of some of the structure and types of water that we've been finding fish in. The natural lakes we've been fishing. I guess most of the fish have been less than about 9 feet, generally speaking.
One of the interesting, parts is we're catching them a little bit deeper than we normally would be. We're fishing break lines. One of our first good days. We're sitting 10 to 15 feet of water, casting shallow off the break. The last video with Scott, we were working a break of where the weeds kind of died off, and it was just.
That was about 9 feet.
9 feet.
9 feet of water. The trolling fish.
Yeah.
We got 2 trolling fish, husky jerk and the mini.
Yep. That was on that break, and then
9 feet of water.
We got that walleye out over there. We can kind of dive into.
Oh yeah.
When I was basin fishing with Heidi. That was 10. Not really basin. That's a different type of lake.
Real shallow lake.
Yeah.
Super shallow.
But still, out in the middle there, trolling over the bluegill piles. And
trolling with light gear.
Yep.
This is a walleye trolling rod, 8.5 footer. Yep. It's got 15-pound mono on it, and it's got a titanium leader up front.
Yep.
Some may say a little light for musky, but
the nice thing about these walleye rods, though, they bend. It's not like you can really snap anything off of them.
When you're running mono, it's like a giant rubber band.
Yep.
It's easier to land a fish probably on this light gear. then musky gear. We
Yeah.
often tear the hooks out
Right.
of them and whatnot. So
that was another cool thing about this spring. A little different than what we've done in the past, so that's been cool.
actually, interestingly, one thing about at least the lakes around here that we found is there's way more weeds than normal, which is really a big plus to have some structure this early in the season. And I think that's because we had such a weak winter this year. Very little ice, and that equates to more sunlight getting through and keeping those weeds alive longer.
Yeah.
So I like that. That's I don't know if that'll take place everywhere throughout the state. Some of the northern lakes I know had a lot of snow, so that might not be the case up north.
And another thing is our best days have been on a northwest wind and high pressure, which is totally weird. But generally speaking, it was cloudy though, so that definitely helped us. I was just out with my brother actually, musky fishing, and it was a perfect sunny 70-degree day and
squat.
Yeah.
You got one peanut?
We got 2 peanuts trolling husky jerks, believe it or not. But I mean, they're literally 15 inches. But it was his first 2 muskies ever, so hey.
That's cool. They all count.
Yes, yep. So hopefully you'll be hopping in a boat soon.
And that's one thing to say too. If you catch a little tiny small muskie, that's actually what got us onto that window with Scott last week. Is that even if it's small, something is happening in muskies. If one bites, there's probably more biting. So always think that way, that the window could be open even if it's a tiny little fish like that. Yeah, so some of the areas to look for early season, the biggest thing I'm going to look for is the warmest water available. And that's typically where the wind has been prevailing and blowing that into. If you picture a lake like this, if you got a south wind blowing this way, if it's just a round lake, the north end is going to be warmer. So just think about that. Look for potentially dirtier water if possible, because that's usually the warmer water. Old weeds, possibly new weeds, areas of current.
That too.
Boom, current. That'd be the second thing I would think about is areas of current. We all know how good dam fishing can be good. Early season. But
we don't get to partake much in that.
Yeah, we usually don't dam fish.
Yeah, just because having cameras up at one of those spots wouldn't be such a good thing.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah, areas of current. That's probably the 2 most biggest things I would think about spring musky fishing, location wise, 2 to 10 feet.
Yep.
Many of the fish will come in that 5, 6, 7 feet.
That's for sure.
Another thing to look for the pan fishermen.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Where are they hanging out? Where are they? If they're catching panfish, there's muskies.
Right, that was an interesting fact. In early bass season, we were looking for, bluegill guys, actually loons eating bluegills.
Oh, yeah.
It was just...
Everywhere we caught muskies, there was loons surrounding the boat eating bluegills.
Yep. So
that was really interesting.
Very interesting.
But keep in mind, however, if you get a big cold front, big nasty winds, sometimes those panfish will move off the breaks, and maybe that's why we're doing better a little deeper this season.
True. Yeah, with being cold.
Yeah, not a lot of panfish have pulled in super tight this year. So
sight fishing, I didn't see a single bluegill shallow at all.
Nothing.
So delayed like that. I mean those fish were pretty deep. To be sight fishing, they were definitely 7 to 9 feet of water, which is weird.
That's super deep. Yeah, for sure.
So that was interesting.
Also, too, another thing to look for, which is also an area of current, is if you're fishing some of the lakes in northern Wisconsin, where you've got chains of lakes, lake to lake, the channels that connect those lakes. That's another area that I would be looking for muskies for sure.
Some lakes up there that people will be pounding that have a lot of those.
For sure.
So that's interesting,
I know you've spent some time on some of the lakes up north.
Yeah. It's definitely a river system. You can definitely tell when you get into those bottleneck areas that definitely holds fish, especially being so cold. Walleyes and whatnot being up there, and
walleyes are still on the tail end of the spawn in some of the northern lakes.
So that'll be definitely a key area if you're way up there.
Well, I guess that's pretty much a wrap on what we've done so far,
Yep.
what perhaps might work for you coming up with the Northern Wisconsin opener. We want to hear what you guys run into this coming weekend.
Oh man, I'm excited. It's gonna be some big fish caught, I would imagine.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's definitely still probably some fish with eggs in them in certain parts of the state.
Yeah, it's
so
gonna be
could
crazy.
be some behemoths caught possibly.
Yep.
Legit 40-pounders
Yep.
possibly.
Yep. Hopefully we can stumble on one of those. Hopefully you guys can stumble on one of those. It's exciting. It's an exciting time.
So yeah, make sure you comment below. We'd like to hear if you, of course, have any other questions as well. We will answer as the best we can, and we'd like to hear maybe you got some predictions or what. But
be happening.
Whatever the case, leave us some comments. We appreciate you guys watching so much.
Yep.
And good luck on your opening weekend of musky fishing. We'll catch you on the opener.
Yes, absolutely.